As you can see, the 16 valve is apart again. We're at Piggy's. He's very kindly done the radiator, which you'll see in another episode, and he's done something for the Racetractor, which is very nice, and we were going to do the brakes, but I broke down on the way, as mentioned. Very not nice noises, something mechanical. Injector tip was burnt, potentially, or damaged. Compression test, cylinder number 1, which on Peugeot's books is that one, had no compression at all, and a leak down test through the inlet. And then we found this and we took it off. Which, if you can see, the rocker is in the wrong place and quite nicely broken. Somehow no more damage than that, and the spring is snapped.
And the retainer's flown off.
Yeah, so Tiggy's going to fish some stuff out now.
So, the rocker arm has been pushed over to one side and has kind of cracked in its specific point, and it's pushed over to one side, so the cam's done that. And then we've got part of the spring out already, and I'm getting, so that's another part of the spring, as you can see there.
Sorry, just trying to get you some more light.
No problem. So we'll put that to one side, that's part of the spring, and I'll try and get the rest of the spring out.
These are the Mark II springs. As everyone knows if they've been watching, the Mark I springs.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Around and smash stuff up.
That's good. Look at that. That's the spring like intertwined together. So that's why I had no compression. Now these springs are actually in my cylinder head as well now, and you can kind of see my car here, my 307. So I've just torqued the head back down on that actually with new springs in, so that might be.
That's a little bit worrying.
A little bit worrying. Right, I'll try and pull the valve up as best I can. Well, the valve isn't bent because it returns, so I've pulled the valve up.
Is the valve stem seal in place? That's really odd the way actually that's.
Yeah.
I can't quite work out what's happened with that spring.
No, I can't either.
And there's a bit that's broken, and then it's wrapped itself around itself. Yeah, it's broken itself twice.
Yeah, and then wrapped around itself.
Sorry, I can't see that in focus, everyone.
I can just see the retainer and a bit more of valve spring, but I'm trying to get this rocker arm out, which is really difficult. Can I go? In fact, if I just don't want to push the valve too far and not be able to get it back out, just in case you have to. Mind you, is it going to make a difference?
Head's coming off.
I'll push it down, try not to drop it into the cylinder.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, and then try and move it round like that. There you go. So, rocker arm, as you can see, that's broken there.
Brand new rocker arm.
Yeah, so it's kind of cracked into. Look.
Oh, it's done it in its usual place. So these rocker arms, if I mentioned before, they have like a stress point here, so that if something was to happen with the timing, hopefully the idea is that these break rather than the head, and then you just have to lift the top of the head off, which is what we've done.
Yeah. We
haven't had to actually touch the head gasket, and you just replace your rocker arms. Unfortunately, obviously, if your springs have gone, well, I'm gonna have to lift the head to see if the valve has actually damaged anything, or there's a bottom of a piece of the valve that's dropped down, because we do have a bit of damage on an injector, which is a bit of a concern.
But we're not there was no rail pressure building when we put it on Peugeot Planet.
I'm pretty sure that injector was just sort of weeing out diesel.
But that wouldn't explain the spring snapping, would it really? No. So I'll try and get the retainer out, the spring retainer. So there's also the fact as well is, where are the collets?
So he's going to get some pliers, pull the valve up. If it's broken off the end,
we'll just get a whole shaft.
Very sad faces. But as it happens, then it's not great.
No, not good at all.
It's a cold Sunday night, and it didn't go the way we wanted it to do. Never mind. I will be putting this aside because I will cry and work on the other project that I really need to get going before the end of this year, as I promised to start it at the beginning of this year. And we're going to get a new set of injectors, and I don't actually know about the springs because you can't actually order them from MPS anymore. So there's a shout out to anyone that knows MPS to pull a favour that we need a set of springs, if not 2 sets of springs,
3 sets of springs,
if not 10, because these aren't going very well. So we're waiting for a recovery truck now, so it's going to be a very late night because I need to get home at some point, and I'm an hour and a half away home in a car.
76 miles.
Yeah, that's going to be about 2 hours at least in a truck. That's when they arrive, which we don't know when they're arriving. So for now, peace out.
Don't know how this works, sorry. I'll talk for a minute though, if I can.
Hello.
So essentially, you will have just seen us pulling bits of the spring out from inlet from the inlet side. So you've got there, you can kind of see that the spring and the rocker's broken, so that's going to be replacing, and also you can kind of see the shaft of a valve there. So the bottom of a valve, which actually seals against the head,
just me in my car.
It's broken off. So that's inside the piston, inside the cylinder at the moment. So that will have probably pushed its way into the head, into the piston, rattled around a bit, and it's also, we first had suspicions when the injector kind of had like a bit of a flat spot on it where it looked like it'd been melted or hit on something. We weren't too sure what that was, but now we know that the bottom of the valve's broken off and it's inside the cylinder. So we didn't know that, so it's been cranked and driven like that, so it's probably done several rotations in there and possibly smashed all that to pieces, and the piston. And believe me when I say, because I've done a 16 valve conversion, those pistons are really hard to get hold of. And also these heads are quite actually hard to get hold of as well, for reasonable money. We both got quite lucky, didn't we, when we got both of ours? Yeah, I got a complete engine for a good price, because the 2.2 engines aren't so, like 2 litre 16 valve engines are actually quite expensive, but 2.2 is not too bad. They've gone up a bit since, but yeah, not good. Have you told them about there's a valve bouncing around inside my engine again? Yeah, basically, yeah. For the second time. Second time. For the same manufacturer that made my first set of springs. That told me it was my fault. The kind of issue that you have is that I've forgotten what I was going to say now. What was I going to say? We don't like these valve springs. Not really, but happy faces. That we can pretend like movie stars that we're happy with our life. We like Peugeots. Here's to Paul, who's coming, who the nice lady has just called me love 4 times. I'm not her love. But he's going to come and pick me up in an hour. Don't show Mrs. Piggy this, might get worried. Alright, love. Alright, love, Paul's on his way, love. Take care, Doc. Right, we're going to go and finish my sub. Sorry to everyone, this is bad news. Sorry for my boring intro, sorry, I'd rabbit tongue. Things will be becoming better. So this is the end of this episode, again, with a broken engine. Hi folks, so this is the state of the Racetractor. Door cards are in, you might have seen that in a previous episode. I've also replaced the coolant bottle. I had split, which is annoying, and painted up some brackets, which is fancy. But you'll notice a stack link of turbo. Oh yes, and gearbox. There's that gearbox, and there's another gearbox. So that gearbox, if you're thinking it looks familiar, well it is a little bit. That is the Lemon's gearbox. The other 3 or 6 I put a link to. Why am I switching them? Because that gearbox, the original Racetractor box, has no 4th gear and makes a terrible, terrible noise. So I had to rip that out, and to keep it on the road I had to use the Lemon gearbox while the Lemon is off the road. Depending on when you see this, the reason for that you might already know. The reason is the Lemon has dropped its valve again due to faulty valve spring. So it's off the road, so let's keep one on the road and use this box. Shout out to, I think it's Reese, David Reese. He is going to supply and donate a gearbox for the Lemon. So that's very kind. Oh yeah, let me show you the lovely gearbox oil. All that silver is pieces of my gearbox, and it's like a coppery tone as well for the same reason. It's all the metal in the gearbox basically. It's ever so pretty. You can occasionally see some big lumps in there. No doubt there's some bigger lumps that can't actually drain out. We might spit it down on at some point to see what we get. It's actually very, very pretty. The sound wasn't though. My face isn't now. Never mind.